Welcome. We have completed the theoretical discussion of the chapter current electricity. Now we may do some problems from this chapter. So our first problem is the area of cross section of a wire is 10 power minus 7 meter square and the density of free electrons in the wire is 2 into 10 raised to 28 per meter cube. What will be the drift velocity of free electrons if the current in the wire is 3.2 ampere? So we may list out the data given. Area is given. Then density of electrons means it is a number density or the number of electrons present. Then current is also given. So how to connect current with drift velocity? I is equal to A N E V, connect current with the drift velocity A N E V, where we represent the drift velocity. Therefore what is V? V will be I by A N E. So from the relation V is equal to I by A N E, we can find the drift velocity. So on substituting, it is 3.2 divided by 10 power minus 7 into n is 2 in 10 raised to 28 into 1.6 in 10 power minus 19. And on solving, we will get the answer. So the answer for drift velocity is 0.01 meter per second. That is the drift velocity. Then second question, a negligibly small current is passed through a wire of length 15 meter and uniform cross section 6 into 10 power minus 7 meter square. If the resistance of the wire is 5 ohm, what is the resistivity of the material at the temperature of the experiment? So again we will list out the data given. The length of the wire is 15 meter, area 10 power 6 in 10 power minus 7, resistance is given and we have to find the resistivity rho. So how to connect rho, L, A and R? So from the previous classes we have the equation rho is equal to RA divided by L. Here R is given, A is given, L is also given, and all these are in SI units. So we don't have to convert these into SI units. So on solving this equation, we will get the resistivity, and the resistivity of the material will be 2 into 10 power minus 7 ohm meter. That is the answer. Then our third question is, a heating element using nichrome connected to a 230 volt supply draws an initial current of 3.2 ampere which settles after a few seconds to 2.8 ampere. What is the steady temperature of the heating element if room temperature is 27 degrees Celsius? Temperature coefficient of nichrome, temperature coefficient of resistance of nichrome is 1.7 into 10 power minus 4 per degree Celsius. So again the data is voltage is given 230. There are two currents. Initially the current is 3.2 ampere. Then after some time it becomes 2.8 ampere. So what could be the reason? We know when current flow through a conductor it will heat up, and as a result there will be a resistance, or there will be an increased resistance for the wire. So it is because of the increased resistance of the wire that the current becomes 2.8 ampere from 3.2 ampere. Then alpha is also given. Temperature coefficient of resistance is also given. And so we have to find what the temperature for which the resistance, the current becomes 2.8 ampere. So how will we connect alpha, T1 and current? So we have the equation, we have no equation to connect alpha with I. So, but we have the equation to connect alpha with resistance. So that is, so for that we need what? The resistance. So what is resistance? Resistance is equal to voltage by current. Therefore R1 is equal to V by I1. From Ohm's law, R is equal to V by I. So voltage is 230 divided by I1, current is 3.2 ampere. Therefore we get the resistance R1 as 71.82 ohm. Similarly I2 is equal to V by I2, which is 230 by 2.8, and that is equal to 82.14 ohm. So now we have R1, R2, now T1, alpha. So how to connect alpha with T1, R1 and R2? We have the equation alpha is equal to R2 minus R1 divided by R1 T2 minus R2 T1. So here T1 is the temperature corresponding to the resistance 71.82 ohm at which we start the experiment. So normally that will be the temperature of the wire normally, and after some time when the current falls to 2.8 ampere, the temperature of the wire will be increased. So T2 is the temperature corresponding to the resistance 82.14. So T1 is the temperature corresponding to 71.82 ohm and T2 is the temperature corresponding to 81.14 ohm. So what is the temperature when the resistance becomes 82.14 ohm, or what is the temperature when the current falls to 2.8 ampere? That is the question. So substituting for this, we can write 8 in place of alpha, 1.70 10 to the power minus 4, that is equal to 82.14 minus 71.8, that is R2 minus R1 divided by 71.8 into T2, and T2 is the unknown temperature, minus 82.14 into 27. So on solving we can find the answer for T2, and T2 will be so T2 is equal to 871.4 degrees Celsius. That is the temperature T2 when the resistance becomes 82.14 ohm or the current becomes 2.8 ampere. Our next question is, the storage battery of a car has an EMF of 12 volts. If the internal resistance of the battery is 0.4 ohm, what is the maximum current that can be drawn from the battery? So the EMF of the cell is given 12 volts. Internal resistance is 0.4 ohm. And what is the maximum current in terms of EMF? We know that is I is equal to E by R plus R. And what is R here? What is the capital R? Capital R is the external resistance. Since the circuit is not connected to any external resistor, we can take this capital R equal to 0. Small r represent internal resistance, capital R represent external resistance. From the previous class we know. And since there is no external resistance, we are taking R is equal to 0. Therefore current I is equal to 12 divided by 0.4, that is equal to 30 ampere. So 30 ampere is the current, the maximum current that can be drawn from the battery. Then our next question. A battery of EMF 10 volt and internal resistance 3 ohm is connected to a resistor. If the current in the circuit is 0.5 ampere, what is the resistance of the resistor? What is the terminal voltage of the battery when the circuit is closed? So again, the EMF is given as 10 volt, small r is equal to 3 ohm, and the current I is equal to 0.5 ampere. So this is how this looks, the circuit looks, external R and internal R. Now what is the resistance of the resistor? That means what is the value of this R? External resistor. Here key is the switch. When we close, there will be a current flow through the circuit, and from the previous example we know I is equal to E by R plus R. Here I is given, R is not given, R is to be found. Then internal R is given, internal resistance is given, EMF is given. Therefore 0.5 is equal to 10 by R plus 3. And on solving, or we can write what, or we can rewrite this equation as R plus 3 is equal to 10 by 0.5. And 10 by 0.5 is equal to what? 100 by 5. That is equal to 20. So 20 ohm is equal to R plus 3. Therefore R is equal to 20 minus 3, that is 17 ohm. So 17 ohm is the external resistance. So that is the first part of the question. What is the resistance of the resistor? Then second part is what is the terminal voltage of the battery? So the voltage of the battery, what is the equation for voltage, terminal voltage? So terminal voltage V is equal to IR. And what is I? I is equal to 0.5 given, and R just got as 17 ohm. Therefore 0.5 into 17 ohm, that is equal to 8.5 volt is the terminal voltage. The next one is 3 resistors, 2 ohm, 4 ohm and 5 ohm are combined in parallel. What is the total resistance of the combination? If the combination is connected to a battery of EMF 20 volts and a negligible internal resistance, determine the current through each resistor and the total current in the circuit. So we have 3 resistors, R1 2 ohm, R2 4 ohm, R3 5 ohm, and when resistors are in parallel combination, we know 1 by R is equal to 1 by R1 plus 1 by R2 plus 1 by R3, where this 1 by R represents reciprocal of the effective resistance. So 1 by R is equal to 1 by 2 plus 1 by 4 plus 1 by 5, that is equal to 10 plus 5 plus 4 by 20, and that is equal to 19 by 20. So 19 by 20 is 1 by R. So what is R? So taking the reciprocal, R is equal to 20 by 19. So 20 by 19 ohm is the effective resistance when the resistors are in parallel combination. So that is the first part of the question. Answer for the first part of the question. Then second part is, if the combination is connected to an EMF of 20 volts, what is the current through each branch or each resistor? So this is the situation. We have 3 resistors which are in parallel combination, and there are currents I1, I2 and I3. So I is the current coming from the battery. At this junction it will branch out as I1, I2 and I3, so that I1 flow through R1, I2 flow through R2 and I3 flow through R3. So I1 plus I2 plus I3 gives the total current I. Then what is I1? So from Ohm's law we know I is equal to V by R. And what is the voltage or what is the EMF? So for all the resistors, it is 20 volts. So 20 volts. So V is equal to 20 divided by R1 is equal to 2. So 20 by 2 is equal to 10 ohm. So 10 ampere is the I1 current. Then similarly, what is the current I2? I2 is equal to V by R2. Again V is equal to 20 divided by R2 is equal to 4 ohm. Therefore 20 by 4 is equal to 5 ampere. Then we have I3. I3 is equal to again the voltage 20 divided by R3 is 5. So 20 by 5, that is equal to 4. So 4 ampere. Therefore what is the total current? So total current is equal to sum of I1, I2 and I3. That is equal to 10 plus 5 plus 4. I1 plus I2 plus I3. 10 plus 5 plus 4. That is equal to 19 ampere. So 19 ampere is the current, total current. So 19 ampere current is coming out of this battery. Of this 19 ampere, I1, that is 10 ampere will flow through R1. I2, that is 5 ampere will flow through R2, and I3, that is 4 ampere will flow through resistor R3. Then the next question is that of a network. So determine the equivalent resistance of this network shown in the figure. So in this circuit, if you analyze closely, we can see that these 1 ohms and these 2 ohms are in series. So here these 2 1 ohms are in series each other, and these 2 ohms are in series. So 2 and 2 in series, 1 and 1 in series. So we may just redraw this connection with the net or the effective resistance when 1 ohm and 1 ohm are in series. So when 1 ohm and 1 ohm are in series, then it will be what? 1 plus 1 is equal to 2 ohm. So this represents 2 ohm. So this is 1 series 1, that is 2 ohm. Similarly, when 2 series 2 will give what? 4 ohm. Therefore this branch represents 4 ohm. So 2 ohm and 4 ohm. So that is the that is an resistance for the first section. Similarly, we have the next section, which is again repeating the same combination, that is 2 ohm and 4 ohm. That is the second part. Then there is a third part of the network, which is again 2 ohm and 4 ohm in series. Third part. Then similarly, we have the last part, or there is one more section, which is the fourth section. And for this section also, there is a 2 ohm branch and there is a 4 ohm branch. So 2 ohm and 4 ohm. So this is how we are redrawing this connection. Now again, a close study will show that here 2 ohm and 4 ohm are in parallel. So 2 ohm and 4 ohm are in parallel. So again, we may find the effective resistance for these two, and we know when two resistors R1 and R2 are in parallel, then net resistance R is equal to R1 R2 divided by R1 plus R2. So this R1 and R2 is equivalent to R. R1 and R2 are equivalent to R, such that R is equal to R1 R2 by R1 plus R2. So this is the R. So this way we can redraw this part. So for this part of the network, R1 say 2 ohm and R2 say 4 ohm. So 2 into 4 divided by 2 plus 4, that is 8 by 6. So this branch has a resistance of 8 by 6 ohm, or that is equal to 4 by 3 also. So this branch has an effective resistance of 4 by 3 ohm. That means we may redraw this part with a single resistor of resistance 4 by 3 ohm. So for the first part 4 by 3 ohm, then for the next part again a 4 by 3 ohm, then for the third part again there is a 4 by 3 ohm, then for the last part again there is a 4 by 3 ohm, and we can see all these 4 by 3 ohms are in series, or all these resistors are in series. Therefore, what is the effective resistance? We know when the resistors are in series, then effective resistance will be what? R1 plus R2 plus R3 etc. That means here all these 4 by 3 can be, we can find the effective of this 4 by 3 ohms with 4 by 3 plus 4 by 3 plus 4 by 3 plus 4 by 3, that is 16 by 3 ohm. So 16 by 3 ohm is the effective resistance of this network. Then we have another connection, another network. Find the current in the given network. So for this network, what is the current? So what is the current I coming from this cell? So for this connection again, we can see that 30 ohm and 30 ohm, these two 30 ohms are in series combination. So these two 30 ohms are in series, and when 30 ohm is in series, another 30 ohm, what is the effective resistance? 30 plus 30 will be 60 ohm. So we may redraw this part here. So this is a connection, 2 volt cell, then 30 ohm is this one. Now this part we may redraw as what? 30 plus 30 is equal to 60 ohm. So this, the effective part, the effective resistance of this part is 60 ohm. Now we can see that this 30 ohm and 60 ohm are in parallel combination. So when R1 and R2 are in parallel, effective resistance is R1 R2 by R1 plus R2. So that means for 30 into 60 divided by 30 plus 60, that is equal to 20 ohm. So 20 ohm is the effective resistance. So 20 ohm is the effective resistance of these resistors. Then what is the current? Current is equal to, current I is equal to V by R. So voltage is given, that is 2 volts, and the effective resistance of these resistors is 20 ohm. Therefore V by 20 is the current, and that means it is 2 by 20, or that is equal to 0.1 ampere. 0.1 ampere is the answer. Then the next question, what is the, or find the equivalent resistance between A and E of this network. So this is the point A, this is the point E. What is the effective resistance of this network? And there is a value for these resistors R1, R2 and R3, and it is R1, R2, R3, R4 and R5. Each resistor has a value of 10 ohm. And again a closure study will show that what these two R2 and R3 are in series. That means 10 ohm in series with another 10 ohm. So 10 series 10 is equal to 20 ohm. So this can be replaced with a 20 ohm. Then below this there is a 5 ohm connection. So that is R5. So 20 ohm parallel to a 5 ohm, a 10 ohm resistor. Then as shown previously, this is a 10 ohm here, and again there is a 10 ohm which form the leg E. Now again we can see that this 20 ohm and 10 ohm are in parallel. So when 20 ohm and 10 ohm are in parallel, what is the effective resistance? So from the previous discussions we know it will be 20 into 10 divided by 20 plus 10, that is equal to 20 by 3 ohm. So now this, the effective resistance of this part is 20 by 3 ohm. That means we can redraw this connection again. So we have this 20 by 3 ohm. Then to one side of this 20 by 3 ohm there is a 10 ohm resistor, and other end again there is a 10 ohm resistor. Now we can see that these 10, 20 by 3 and 10 are in series. So this is a series connection. So what is effective resistance for a series connection? Take the sum. That means effective resistance R will be 10 plus 20 by 3 plus 10. And that is equal to what? 26.7 ohm. So 26.7 ohm is the effective resistance. Next question. A cell of EM of 2 volt and negligible internal resistance is connected at the ends of a potentiometer wire. It is used for the determination of the internal resistance of a 1.5 volt cell. The balance point of the cell in open circuit is 76.3 centimeter. When a resistor of 9.5 ohm is used in the external circuit of the cell, the balance point shift to 64.8 centimeter length of the potentiometer wire. Determine the internal resistance of the cell. So for this problem to solve, we should know the function of a potentiometer. How a potentiometer is used to find the internal resistance of a wire. So there are two cells, 2 ohm and 1.5 ohm. You know, one is primary, 2 volt is the primary cell, and 1.5 volt is the secondary cell. So actually we are finding the internal resistance of this 1.5 volt cell. So if for the smooth understanding of this problem, you should go through the functioning or the working of a potentiometer wire or its application to find the internal resistance of a cell. So we may list out the data. Primary voltage 2 volts, secondary voltage 1.5 volts. Then while doing the experiment, we know first we will find the balance length without including the resistor. Without including the external resistor, we find a balancing length, and that is the balancing length in the open circuit, and that resistance is 76.3 centimeter. Then after that we close a key and include the resistance or include the external resistance. Then we get a new balance length, and that balance length is L2. So that is how we are getting L1 and L2 for a potentiometer wire connection. And from this we can find the internal resistance from the equation. R is equal to L1 by L2 minus 1 into R. So all the values are given here. L1, L2 and R are given. So on substitution and solving, we will get the answer as so 1.177 is the value for 76 by 76.3 by 64.8. That minus 1, so it is 0.177 into 9.5, and the answer is 1.68 ohm. So 1.68 ohm is the internal resistance of the cell, which is the 1.5 volt cell. So we are finding the internal resistance for the secondary cell. Then our next question. In a potentiometer arrangement, a cell of EM of 1.25 volt gives a balance point at 35 centimeter length of the wire. If the cell is replaced by another cell, the balance point is 63 centimeter. What is the EMF of the second cell? So again, this is an application of potentiometer, that is comparison of EMF. So for comparison of EMF, we have two cells, we have two secondary cells. E1 gives a balance point of 35 centimeter. After that, E1 will be removed and E2 will be connected to circuit. And for E2, there will be a balance point of 63 centimeter. Therefore, E1 by E2 is equal to L1 by L2. Again, for a smooth solving of this of this problem, you should go through the application of potentiometer for the comparison of EMF of two cells. So here the only unknown quantity is E2. All other quantities are given. So 1.25 by E2 is equal to 35 divided by 63, and on solving we get the value of E2. And E2 is equal to 1.25 into 63 divided by 35, and the answer is 2.25 volt. That is the voltage of the other cell. Then our last problem is, in a meter bridge the balance point is 39.5 centimeter from the left end A with an unknown resistance X in the left gap and a known resistance Y of 12.5 ohm in the right gap. Find the value of unknown resistance X. Determine the balance point when X and Y are interchanged, and B, battery and galvanometer are interchanged. So again, for this problem also we should go through the application of a meter bridge. Only then we can understand the meaning of this left gap and right gap. So the unknown resistance is given, which can be found using the equation X equal to L by 100 minus L into R. So what is L? L is the balance point of the potentiometer wire for a external resistance of R. So this equation actually comes from the Wheatstone's condition of P by Q is equal to R by S. If you remember, that is X by R is equal to L by 100 minus L. That is the Wheatstone's condition when meter bridge is used. So from that we can find the unknown resistance, and L is given, the balance point is given, which is 39.5 centimeter. Therefore 100 minus L will be what? 100 minus 39.5 centimeter, and 100 minus 39.5 centimeter will be 60.5 centimeter. So all the quantities are known, L, 100 minus L, and R. All these quantities are known. Therefore X can be found by substituting the values of L, 100 minus L, and R. That is 39.5 divided by 60.5 into 12.5 ohm, and that is equal to 8.16 ohm. So 8.16 ohm is the answer. Okay. So the problems that we have done in this class are some model problems, and these problems are important also. Now you can find more problems in your textbook and try to solve more and more problems. Thank you for watching.